nice to have
Thanks
you
a lot,
here.
Zsuzsa, for the invite, first of all.
You're welcome. It's very nice to have you here. Can you please first introduce yourself? Maybe, Alex, you could start.
Hello, Alex Schmidt my name. I'm heading up the business development and strategic planning of adiClub within Adidas. And what that means is basically that we are defining the yearly targets for our huge corporation that we are, which is very cumbersome, I can tell you. And then also, that's the next one, to align the whole company behind a set of priorities that we are working on to make that program better every quarter, every half year, every year. That's basically what my team is doing.
Excellent.
And Zsuzsa, my name is Arturo Pisapia. I'm a global director membership at Adidas, and together with my team based in Germany at Herzogenaurach, that's where our headquarters is based, I'm driving the continuous improvements of our loyalty and membership experience across all the touch points. Through key initiatives, I come with around 20 years, I'm a little bit old, of experience in digital marketing, loyalty marketing, and consumer engagement. And of course, as a next step within Adidas, what I'm doing now is really to drive forward, offer it to the next level, our redemption program.
And please tell us more about this retention program, because there will be people in this room who may not know adiClub that well. Can you please explain how it works and why do you think it is special?
Happy to, I'll take this one.
And
okay.
while you started, can I ask for a bit of help, because I can't seem to open this for some reason. It was easy.
Okay.
I should have been able to do that.
So adiClub is the Adidas loyalty program, which is basically a points-based program. So you can earn points based on commercial and non-commercial activities that you as a member do after you have signed up. And then we have 4 tiers where you can level up, building points and points equity and level up from level 1 to level 4, which is then linked to an increasing line of benefits as a member that you can get. We started the program in 2018 in the US in our app, so it's a digitally grown business, and since then we have rolled it then out to other geographies. In 2020, I believe it was, where we launched the first Members Week, which was an industry first, so 1 week of offers around product and experiences and money can buy experiences for our members. And in 2021, which I believe then was the most important point from a corporate point of view, we integrated it as an essential part into our corporate strategy. So it was really the red thread or the glue to our strategy, to our consumer experience strategy. We relabeled it or renamed it. Back then it was called Creators Club when we launched it. Now it's called adiClub to bring it closer to the brand. And we then later on also added redemption. Arturo, you will probably share a little bit more about this. And since then we have grown it to 50 countries, which basically equals 95% of the net sales that Adidas is doing. So we are basically everywhere. And we are not yet done, I would say.
It sounds amazing. Please tell us more about the functions. You told about the tiers, but I know that there are so many special things in Adidas. Just if I read it from that page from the report, equity for sweat or promoting noble causes, what are the special things that you have in the loyalty program?
I think first of all, we have an amazing brand. And I think that is what it is all about.
It's a great thing to start with.
Absolutely, I would say it's the thing. Yeah, no, that allows us, and it starts with product. Yeah, product is at the heart of everything we do, and there is different shades and forms of access that we can give our members to product. Be it, which is more the boring part, early access to standard product, but it's also then when you look at our pinnacle product, our hype product, our statement product, which is sold out, which is super scarce and super sought after, you can get prioritized access to this. To just name a few examples, and there's many more. And I think what comes then on top is the whole experience part. And I think yesterday it was said by someone, these emotional moments that you should own and that you should build on, and I think we have plenty of them. We have Messi in our portfolio, so think of a meet and greet that we can offer or raffle away to our members. It's something that nobody else can do. Only we can do that. Or be it Jenny Ortega, or be it access to behind-the-scenes content of the World Cup. That's only stuff that we have in our portfolio, and of course we want to leverage this. And it's also then, sports is at the heart of everything we do. We have a great running extension in our app portfolio where you can track your runs and earn points for it, which is, I think, nobody else does it so far in the industry. And of course, for us, this is a great moment to connect your sports with our program and get you into our machine.
That was actually one of the reasons why we included adiClub into the report. It's like rewarding these healthy lifestyle choices. It's really, I think, setting the trends and making these trends happen, connecting healthy lifestyle and the loyalty program. Tell us more about how the loyalty program can be accessed, because I know that one of your reasons or one of the goals with launching the loyalty program was that it should be omnichannel. It should be reachable from all kinds of life situations when in a customer's life.
Yep. I think you mentioned one of the challenges that every digitally grown program has. We are an omnichannel company, so we have a strong digital presence. We have a strong retail presence, be it our own retail or be it through our wholesalers. And the program, as I said before, is grown out of digital. So until I think before the strategy, retail was an afterthought. So everything we did, we created for a digital environment, and then there's retail. How can we integrate it? I think that has flipped massively, but we are not there yet. But now with the teams in place and with the priority of the whole topic, we work on the program first and then on the channel expressions. So how can we get the utmost acquisition out of our stores? I mean, we have around about 700 million people visiting our own stores every year. That's a huge potential. So how do we grab this? But also, and then way more important, how do we engage them in the store? And it's not that easy, because when I think about member pricing, which we do in the digital world, or product access, how do you do that in the retail world without excluding people? Yeah? Because we are an inclusive brand, not an exclusive brand. So how do we include people? How do we message to someone, this is an exclusive product for members, but you should feel included into that membership rather being excluded from buying this product? And that's all these questions that you really need to think through. Retail is detail, as they always say, and we feel this. So that's a challenge or a big part of our work also, yeah? To lift it up to that level that every consumer, every member of Adidas really sees adiClub and has the same experience in every touch point that we have.
Okay. One of the great examples how you do that is still, yes, it's an inclusive brand, but there are things that are only for a certain number of people. I don't know if this question is for Arturo or Alex, but I know that there are these golden tickets as rewards. Yeah, tell us more about it. What does it mean, these golden tickets?
So that is what I think makes the program unique. Yeah, I don't know who knows the golden ticket. So we have an app that's called Confirmed, which is basically access to our hype product. To back then in the days, Yeezy, Statement, Consortium. So the things that we have small drops, super sought after, and normally you can apply to buy this. And you have a chance of between, 1 or 5%, but often you will not win. What we introduced is a bidding mechanism for a golden ticket that guarantees you 100% safety or security in getting a part of that wonderful drop, and you can bid with your points. So that's what we did with the golden ticket. Or what we also did during the World Cup in Qatar, we raffled away match-played balls, match-worn jerseys. And I think it goes along the same lines of these emotional moments that only we have. We have these shoes, these hype shoes. We have this access to the World Cup or to other sports events in the world. Super scarce, super authentic, because it's only us and the few little other brands that can do that. Actually, only one that can do this. And this is, I think, what makes the emotional connection and which makes it really special. Yeah, but it's very few. I agree. And it should be probably that way to keep it.
Yeah, it must be, the great feeling to be the creators of this adiClub, because you have big opportunities as your company has access to signed products from, famous people in sport. But it comes with great responsibility too, because you need to be very smart about that, right?
Yes.
Do you want to let us behind the scenes, and it's okay to say no, about how do you source these or get these signed products and deliver this to members?
That's not a very big secret. I mean, we have that extensive rights portfolio, and we invest a lot as a brand.
Okay. I thought it's more mystical or stuff, but no.
Say again?
I thought it would be more mystery around this.
I mean, it's hard work since decades, that we have built that network of partners and have a good relationship with them. So we have access through our extensive rights portfolio. And I think that is also when we created the business plan for adiClub 2.0 or 3.0, however you want to call it, we were always clear that this is the one thing that sets us apart from many other programs, from a transactional to a very emotional connection that we can build with exactly this stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so Arturo, in the recent years, there is this trend towards gamification and experiential rewards. How does adiClub incorporate these elements? We already talked a bit about this, but I know that you do a lot of work around this area.
Yeah, so, okay, first of all, our motto at Adidas is through sports, we have the chance to change lives, okay? So that's foundational, it's basically the foundation of our basically purpose as a company and the culture, and it's basically translated directly into our strategy, of the program for adiClub and in general the strategy of the company itself. So what does it mean? It means that the gamification element is funded around that. And in essence, that's exactly what makes our program unique, to Alex's points before. And then to that point, going a little bit more into the details, what are we doing there? First of all, we have what we call Move to Earn. What is that? In essence, we give the possibility to members to interact and track activities on our running and training apps. So, and basically they can earn, it's very easy concept, they can earn points through their activities. Each kilometer you run, you can earn 2 points. And if you're a cyclist or a mountain biker, no problem, you can do that as well. So we're very open to all sports. And in that case, you can earn 1 point because, of course, the number of kilometers is different. And of course, on top of that, we provide, as part of the same apps, challenges on an ongoing basis. So we have an always-on calendar of challenges our members can subscribe to. And if you get into a challenge and you do 20 kilometers in 1 month, then you can earn 100 points. And then we create this positive loop through the Move to Earn. This, of course, it's one of our key tactics in that sense. Then secondly, we go into what we call, in essence, I think that's tied as well to the purpose, ESG, and I give you a sample about that. Running for the Oceans. That's basically one of our key campaigns we launched, in the last years. And with Running for the Oceans, our members are able, of course, to run. That's obvious. And basically. Now, the last year we did, in essence, the setup was, it was based on the amount of minutes you run. So each 10 minutes that you run, then we were, as Adidas, we were sort of cleaning the shores, the beaches, and the community, and the coastal communities across the world with our partners. And then, of course, on top of that, to add to the gamification element, we gave points to our members. And that's where we create the loop as well from a purpose and sustainability perspective. And then, of course, on top of that, on an ongoing basis, we are implementing campaigns really to educate our members around sustainability. I'm talking about treasure hunts. You can go to our app, and then we had, for instance, some time back, a treasure hunt where people were educated about sustainable behaviors. Reusable bottles, sustainable bags, all things that are, of course, on our end, how to wash shoes and clothes, avoiding, trying to be as much as possible sustainable, okay? And that's basically, it's closing then loop. And then, of course, this is, to create this virtual circle, we go then into the redemption. So we basically gave the possibility to people to earn the points. And then with redemption, that is the next unlock and really my main focus at the moment, we give the possibility to our members to redeem their points for a good cause they believe in. And that's basically our good cause case, where in essence members are able to donate their points, and Adidas is contributing to a good cause in several ways. In some cases, we give sports gears to support female football and the girls' football. In other cases, we organize other events. But that's always the same concept. And we close the loop as well on that end, in essence, with our positive circle. And then, of course, on top of that, redemption is other sort of ways for members to interact with the brand and engage. We give the possibility to members to buy special products they can only access through points. Then, in addition, of course, Alex already mentioned the auction. That's a very innovative scenario where we give the possibility exactly to bid for a reward. And of course, in that case, of course, we generated a lot of engagement through the golden ticket last year. And then on top of that, we have paid raffles where members can access really to the best of Adidas. Alex already mentioned some of the rewards. So of course, that's a big unlock for us. And then we go, I would say, we cross the loop, basically this positive circle with redemption, and we go in the experiential rewards. That is, in essence, what Alex mentioned before. So I think Alex pretty much already delivered the message, no? But then that's exactly the point, no? As Adidas, we're in a sort of a unique position, no? Because we can basically create this amazing experience for our members, and really, instead of being transactional, connect from an emotional perspective, and of course, that's our main goal, no? Because what we want to do is really to create brand equity and connect closely with our members. Just to give you a sample, last year we did for football, on top of what we did for World Cup, that was amazing because, we gave the possibility to our members to win every day a football ball, but not a football ball, not the football ball utilized during the matches of World Cup. So think about an Argentinian kid, that was basically applying to this raffle to win the football utilized by Messi during the final of the World Cup where they won. So that's basically, for us, it's a ball. But then for that kid, it's invaluable. And exactly, all the loyalty experts understand the value that this can have and the power of that. And then we did as well other initiatives like the Speed Camp, just to give you another initiative, where we gave the possibility to kids to come to our campus, play football in our stadium, where the national football team of Germany is training. No? So it's an amazing environment. Meet with our product team to support or to work on the design of their next football boots. And as well, being able to go to in that case, was the Bayern Munich stadium, meet with Bayern Munich VIP. So really an experience we give to kids. And then, of course, just to close the loop, that's exactly what is really creating brand equity, and it's bringing us really, probably to a next level from an emotional connection with members, and that's really our goal at the end.
It is very nice to listen to you because you talked about the things that I think companies can learn from, a great combination of inclusive and exclusive, because like running for the oceans and not rewarding the miles, but the minutes that you spend with running is a great example of inclusivity. It's not that person is the best who runs the fastest, but those people who just start running and then keep being dedicated to the idea. Or a great example to exclusivity that you just mentioned. There are those that money can buy, and there are those that money can't buy. Yeah, you can buy these special products with points, such a great example, but also those that money can't buy, like that ball that these stars played with on the World Cup. You wouldn't be able, as a normal mortal person, access that in other way. Or those lucky kids who got to play in the big stadium. These are things that money can't buy. So, such great examples. Before becoming adiClub, I don't know if you knew this, but adiClub was Creators Club. And one of the biggest differences, as far as I understand, and you will tell me, is in Creators Club, there is no redemption. And in adiClub, there is redemption. Can you tell a bit more about what was the idea of launching a loyalty program without redemption, and how the time came for this rebrand?
In terms of program structure, Creators Club was founded around the status tiers. So it was, many retailers have status tiers, and then we had, at that point in time, with Creators Club, 4 levels that we are still maintaining. So it means that now we have an hybrid program now with redemption and status tiers, and of course, in essence, what led us to the change and the integration of redemption. No? It's very simple to say, no? Because in reality, we listen to our members, we listen to our consumers, and of course, this was, in the NPS feedbacks, we got this obvious message from the members. No, I want to use my points, give me a chance to use the points that I collect through running, through activities, through interacting with the brand. No? And of course, at the end, on top of that, we utilize the NPS feedback, we utilize consumer researches, and then it was basically the obvious decision to move forward and elevating, the program to the next level, integrating redemption as a next big tactic, to basically, in my view, to really go, bring adiClub to the next level from an engagement perspective.
Okay.
If I may add, maybe also when we created the business plan of these famous 500 million, when we pitched it internally, it was always like, that's a scary number, but even scarier is what we want to achieve with engaged members. So this was basically, it was always clear we need to keep the fresh juice coming in, so acquisition, but we need to be faster and grow faster in terms of engagement, because that's in the end where we are doing this.
And also, I think you couldn't have achieved this number with Creators Club. Not everyone considers themselves a creator. I'm not, but I'm also the person who just goes out running and appreciates if I'm appreciated for not the kilometers, but the number of the time that I'm spent running. So this is how the brand become more inclusive. I have 2 more questions, and we have 10 minutes from this presentation, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions. And you will have a question, but I have my first 2 questions, last 2 questions to you two, and give short answers so that people will have the time to ask questions. One of the questions is, how the team looks like who's responsible for the loyalty program? I would imagine that it's a very big operation that you have, and it's also a lot of details that you need to pay attention to with this global operation.
I won't give you a number for 2 reasons. Number 1, we don't reveal it, and secondly, I wouldn't even know.
Okay.
Because the 2 principles when we built the organization was dedication and integration, I would say. So the dedication is where we realized it's a digitally grown product. We need a dedicated team above channels, at the headquarter, that really builds the structure, that builds the framework, that builds the strategy of the program. And Arturo and I and our colleagues here have the pleasure to work in this team. So that's number 1. And then translate it into channel worlds, digital, physical, and then bring it to the markets, who have, the interaction with our consumers, with our members happens in the markets. So whatever we create, it needs to work in the markets, in the countries, in the cities, where we are active, and this is where the teams are, and they have this, they get our plans that we develop together, they feedback, they enrich, they localize. So on all these levels we have dedicated teams, but we have so many integrated functions, because it was very clear that we don't build a parallel organization now on membership, and we do our traditional marketing, and now we do loyalty marketing. It was clear that this wouldn't be the way it works, otherwise we couldn't integrate all these wonderful things into adiClub. So this is why there's a stream of dedicated people, and there's an awful lot more people that are contributing to this, by shaping the value proposition of Adidas, by shaping the technical proposition of Adidas.
Sounds very nice, having the global team and having the local teams contributing to the goal, but also using it in an integrated way, because I can imagine it can't be different from your main message. This should be part of your main message. And my last question to you, and then it's you who can ask questions, is how do you measure the success of the loyalty program? And I guess it evolves over time. Like, it would have been different for Creators Club that is now.
A great question to end with, and a very loaded one, I believe. I think there's two worlds. The good thing with loyalty is you have so rich data that you can really start to analyze a lot. The other thing is normally you're restricted by capacity. I think we have 2 things that we need to bring in line. The one is for our internal senior management, and of course every company is focused very much, especially when you're a publicly traded company, on quarters or on annual financial calendars, but loyalty is a mid to long-term game. So let's say from a financial point of view, we look at a funnel that says, let's get fresh members in, let's engage the heck out of them, and let's convert them for the sake of them and us. So what's the net sales that we earn? That's the highest level. And of course, we can cut that across our different product categories, across the channels, across the markets, the countries, the cities that we are working in, to really pinpoint where there's an opportunity, where there's a challenge, or where we have done specifically great. But on the other hand, we also look at all these early indicators and these long-term indicators like customer lifetime value, which is hard to explain to a wider audience because it's a very complicated thing.
And it's measured differently by everyone?
Absolutely. Even we would probably take ages to bring it, to familiarize it within the company. And then there would be, why do you put this in, and why do you miss out on this one? I mean, we have an active rate definition that is constantly challenged and discussed, and I think there is so many ways that you can look at this. What I always say is, okay, let's be pragmatic and let's see how it grows over time, because that's important for me, that we make progress, maybe not the last 1 percentile of increase in accuracy. But if you were to pin it down to one sentence, it's from acquisition to engagement to conversion, with a big emphasis on the engagement.
Excellent, thank you very much. Mark, then, I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, let's take if there's any questions, we have time for a couple.
Thank you. I'm Radek Rachovec from Volkswagen. Gentlemen, congratulations to one thing, and I would like to emphasize this. It's the points for Svet. That's such a brave action. You know, in every company, when we present a loyalty scheme and we say, we will award some points, etc., for non-transactional behavior, it's a burden where CEO and CFO just say no. So please share with us the story behind this, because it's a great achievement. So how did you persuade your bosses to give people a company's money for making sweatshirt?
I need to think about this, how we did this. I think it's a longer process. And we really started small with the program in the US, in the app only. And it showed the progress that you can make and the positive benefits. And then we enriched it part by part. And by the time where there was time to really beef it up into a corporate priority, there was so much proof already how beneficial this is and how this funnel works, yeah? From not only really I give you a coupon and you can buy something with a discount, rather than I connect you emotionally to my brand. I own certain moments that are important for you. That was resonating with me yesterday. I think you said it, and that's what we built out over years. So then, in all honesty, I've had more difficult things to persuade senior management with than this. I must honestly say this. So it was really a long-grown process that showed it works for our industry or for our brand.
Yeah, and then if I can add, no, that's pretty much what I said before. No, sport is in our DNA. So that's basically coming, you know, it's across the entire company, from the CEO, the CFO. So that's why this kind of topic was not a big deal compared to others, where, of course, we had a bigger conversation with the finance teams and everyone, no? Really.
We discuss a lot about liability management. I can tell you this.
But that's a longer conversation for a different setup.
Okay, well, yeah, one more.
You need to be Adidas in order to not to have these conversations around equity sports.
It helps.
Right?
It does. So Alex Notora, I just got a fun question for you. So what group of athletes, and by athletes I mean anybody, like I still identify as a runner, although I haven't run a marathon in 6 years, right? But what groups of athletes would you say are the most loyal to your brand, and which ones are the most disloyal? Like, you know, I know golfers will, you know, blame a bad score on their golf clubs and switch, right? So they're disloyal. But what do you think is fun? Like, who would never change from a brand, and who would change at a blink
And
of
I
an
would
eye?
expand this question, because not only athletes, but customers. Maybe it's only a smaller portion of customers who would identify themselves as athletes.
There's two things two answers to that question. From a personal experience, I think, or I feel, the most conservative sportsmen are runners, because once you have found your shoe, it's a religion, yeah, and you won't change it. And I admit this, before I went to Adidas, I ran ASICs. It was tough for me to change, yeah? Because there's so much superstition around your shoe. So there you're probably very lazy. But I think, and that's then the other part to the question, there's different strategies to keep different sports with you. Yeah? There is a different thing that, so for example, for a football player, I think that star appeal of a Messi or Ronaldo or whoever it is very important. That doesn't work at all in the running world. I'm pretty sure there's probably 1 or 2 persons in the room that could name the winner of the last Berlin Marathon. Not more, if even, yeah? Because nobody knows. It's not important. You run against yourself, so it's a totally different game. And we have built there a big community where we engage our runners from all levels. The ones that want to run a sub-3 marathon, for the other ones who want to run a half marathon in finishing is their goal. So there's everything in there. Yeah? So there's different strategies to be applied to different sports, I would say. Yeah? This is what we try to do. Yeah?
Great. Yep, here we go.
Hi, I'm Piotr from Loyalty. So congratulations, because this is, I think, the biggest loyalty scheme that I recall, with such big number of countries present. And I don't know if you have any partnerships, or maybe you plan partnerships with other brands. And what I have in mind, for example, Garmin. Is there any kind of plan in place or not?
So we are, I would not say fairly new to the partnership game, but it's clearly a big opportunity that we have. We have announced a few weeks ago a partnership with Les Mills, where we also will have special member offers, a reduced fee for a monthly subscription, but also earning points through doing Les Mills Plus sessions. So that will be part of this. So that partnership is. But yes, Garmin or others are natural partners that we are exploring ways of joining our forces together. Yeah.
And then, Piotr, if I can say, partnerships that are closer to the needs of our members, all our segments of members. So, for instance, lately, as part of the redemption program, we kicked off a partnership with Calm, a relaxation app, basically to provide a subscription to their app for our members. And then, of course, we have a portion of members that are super interested in such kind of opportunity. So that's what we are looking for. So partnerships that are relevant to our members.
And the good thing is we have a lot of this in our own hands, because we always think in game life world. So the game is your sports, that would be Garmin. The life would then be your music, and we have famous artists in our contract. And the world is, what do you give to the world? Yeah, so ESG or donations or whatever. Yeah, and we have a lot of that, and what we can do ourselves. Yeah, but partners are always a good thing to have.
Okay. Last question.
Actually, I have two. So, Johnny, we already talked yesterday, so I'm from KitchenAid. My first question is, you mentioned you listen to your consumer, and what are the key channels that you gather feedback from your users? Because we have product review, we have customer service, social listening. Either you actively conduct like survey, or let's say within the loyalty, do you pop up a survey when member log in to ask them a question to get more like first-party data? That's the first question. And the second one is, I just scrolled the Apple App Store, and I see several apps from Adidas. As a consumer, I may be confused when searching for Adidas app, and how do you manage your portfolio of apps, and how it ties back to the whole loyalty program across all these apps?
Okay, so in terms of feedback from consumers, we try to use all the channels that you mentioned. So that's basically what we do on an ongoing basis, customer research. Of course, we use our D2C presence, our digital channels heavily, because that's basically, it's super easy, way to access members' feedback, and we continuously, of course, engage them, even through gamification, to get their point of view about the brand and what we should do. So that's basically, the short answer is all of them, and on an ongoing basis, so that we can continuously monitor their behavior and, of course, satisfy their needs. That is, in essence, our main goal. And then when it goes to the apps, each app has a role in the ecosystem. So what does it mean? It means that, of course, we have the Adidas app, that is our flagship app, and I would say the storefront, and one of the key channels for our members. But then as well, we have our training and running apps that are exactly the apps where members will interact to do some sport. So in essence, of course, and then of course the last app that we have is Confirmed, which is a niche app, really focused on the kind of segment that is looking for, the last sneakers and the super cool products and the super cool news regarding more of fashion style related. So of course, all these apps have slightly different segments and focus. So that's why there is no overlap. And then of course the teams involved, I mean, it was not me and Alex either, but then, did all the researches to come up with the setup. So, and then, of course, the aim is always to create an experience, omnichannel experience that is as much as possible simple and consistent for members. That's the goal,
So you have a single login to all the apps you can download?
Exactly.
Each niche section, each app, you can tie back to the loyalty.
Exactly. They're all playing a role into the bigger scheme of adiClub, for sure. So, and it's all fully connected. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much, Arturo and Alexander.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Great conversation. I'm very glad that you were part of the Global Customer Loyalty Report, and then this report could come live on stage today. It's a great thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.